So, team, my name is Amanda. Welcome to today's session. It's all about the missing link in onboarding success, and it's all about accountability. So, based on what we've seen out in the wild, myself and the team here at Imagine8, we're noticing you're all screaming for accountability from your team members. They're not doing the things that they should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, which is super frustrating, and we hear you. So, we did a bit of research, not only with our clients, also out in the wild. So Gallup, Harvard Business Review, all of those reputable HR organizations. And we found something really interesting. There's a potential that it's not your new hires or your team members, it's potentially your onboarding. So we have a theory that you're not baking accountability in from day one. And I'd like to take you through that now today. And I'd also like to tell you what you can do about it. So here's what we're hearing out in the wild. Now, 88% of employees will tell us that their onboarding wasn't great, and 69% are more likely to stay over 3 years within an organization if it is. So let's talk about that missing link today. Now, we've all been in this position before. You've just hired the one, the perfect hire, and you're super excited. They're going to maximize your efficiency, your profitability, and they're just a good human to have in the team to raise morale and get everyone on the same page. Now, based on, we ran some numbers, you've probably spent close to 20K recruiting them all told, and potentially another 10K onboarding and training them. They're the base numbers, but they differ in industries, but that's basically what you're up for. So you've spent near 30K every time you bring a new human in. Now, in week 1, they're pumped, they're bright-eyed, they're excited. By week 2, maybe they're starting to quieten down a little bit and they're not looking as excited as they did. Week 3, they're hesitant, they're disconnected. And by week 4, they've checked out of Slack and they're just not playing the game anymore. So this isn't rare, team. If this is happening in your organization, what we've found is that only 12% of team members strongly agree that their company is onboarding them well. 43% of managers admit that they don't have the time to ensure that people are being onboarded correctly. And we see this all the time. That's normally when a client will come to us. They're like, I don't have time to onboard another human and I need 7 other humans. So what do I do about it? That's where we normally jump in. So this happened to one of our clients in particular a few months ago. They hired the most amazing humans. I think they hired 6, it was 6 at the time, and they lost 3 because their onboarding system just wasn't in play and it was just too overwhelming for people. They weren't shown what the gold standard was, how to kick goals, and we'll dig into that very shortly. And we've seen that issue across a range of industries. It's not just fast growth organizations, it happens everywhere. And it's not so much that you've made a bad hire, that they weren't committed, it's a piece of the system that is missing. So let's dig a little bit more into that. Let's talk about the onboarding cliff. So you just hired the one, like I said, you've spent all this money recruiting them, and team, they just don't stick. So not your fault, but they've started up here and they've dived down into the pit of despair. Now, one of 2 things can happen there. They will be present with you, but maybe they're not doing their best work. Maybe they want to do their best work, they don't know how, or they're not feeling it, they're not indoctrinated, or they haven't been embedded in the culture. They don't know how to show up on a daily basis to win, or they could leave. That's normally what we see happen in this situation. Now, let's talk about the broken machine. We believe that there's 5 things that are missing from your onboarding and your ongoing development that cause this phenomenon of people either not participating and showing up as best they can in the organization, or them leaving. First one is unclear expectations. So it could be that we've sat them down, shiny new laptop, they've got that coffee mug, they've got the coffee card to go to the coffee machine, get free coffee for a week. We've given them a short onboarding, given them a pat on the back and said, you got this. Now They don't know. They might even have a position description. They don't know what a win looks like. We're not showing them, hey, if you are an A player in my marketing team, in my finance team, in my sales team, this is how an A player shows up every single day. We don't give them those expectations, and we can change that by baking it into our onboarding and our daily, weekly, monthly rituals, which I'll talk about later. No ownership mindset. So we, being high-performing humans, we have this expectation that everyone that we hire sits down at their desk and is going to take ownership and accountability for everything they do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And it's just not like that. Not everyone is pre-wired for that. So we need to bake that into what we're doing as well. No feedback loops. So it could be that we've got a group of amazing humans, but they're all running around doing their own thing. And I'm not getting feedback as the new team member. And I've been that new team member, and I've been that team member that's been with the company for 7 years and still not got feedback. It is the most frustrating thing in the world as a team member. And also my leader, whoever that might be, isn't asking me for feedback, saying, hey, Amanda, how are you settling in? How are you finding this new system? Have you got everything you need? What can I do differently to make you or set you up for success? So we don't have those feedback loops. There's also no social proof. And this is probably the biggest thing that gets neglected in every organization. I want to come into an organization and see that other people in the sales team or the marketing team or the finance team are crushing it. I want social proof that someone that came before me did an amazing job so that I can replicate what they did. And there's also no personal meaning. That's number 5 that we've identified. So no personal meaning means I don't know why I'm running this report. I don't know why I'm doing this particular activity and how it contributes to the greater good of the organization. When people don't understand the why behind what they're doing, on that daily, weekly, monthly basis, they can't attach meaning to it and they can't get behind it. They don't have that buy-in. So they're the 5 places that we identified the broken machine. Now, what do we do about it? That's all well and good, Amanda. Tell me all of the problems. How do we fix it? It's not about having a rule book. We fix it with a system. So we put together the Imagine8 Accountability Stack, and we've run this process across all of our standard operating procedures, knowledge management, and also our onboarding programs when we build them. If required, we'll run it through a training setup as well. Now, first and foremost, we've got to make it concrete. So every team member has to have 100% certainty and clarity around what their goals are. So we're talking about actual results, not just vague, fluffy stuff. If I'm a gold star performer, if I'm an A player, here's what I'm going to achieve on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. That is so crucial. So many organizations, in fact, I haven't stepped into one that's doing this effectively until we help them out. If you do this, if you take nothing else away from today's session, if you do this, if you show everyone what an A player looks like in their role, game changer if you do nothing else. So take that one straight to the bank. High performers, if you think about them, they have clarity 95% of the time. And according to Harvard Business Review, this is according to a study they did in 2023, low performers only have clarity 31% of the time. So like I said, imagine if you change that one thing. So think about how can we create daily, weekly, monthly rituals so that we're only cultivating high performers. Now, second thing in the accountability stack, make it personal. Link goals to the why. So this has 2 layers to it. So link goals to the why. So why this matters for the organization. And also people are selfish. I say this all the time. People are selfish. So their larger role in the organization, find a way to link it to their personal motivations. What's in it for me? It's not about them being selfish. It's about you being a smart leader. People own what they connect to emotionally. So if you can find those 2 layers, the why I do it for myself, the team, and the organization, and what's in it for me, super duper powerful. Now, number 3, make it visible. So if I'm going to be accountable for something, I want it on a dashboard. I want to be talking about it in our daily huddle meetings. I want cadence of feedback to be in place. Things that are invisible do not exist. So I want it screaming at me. The Slack channel, the Teams channel, make it visible so that people are talking about it and have daily, weekly, monthly rituals around it. And finally, number 4, we want to make it stick. So by bringing all of those things together, the rituals, the shared wins, micro consequences, even little nudges. Hey, Amanda, I noticed you didn't get your report in at 5 o'clock on Friday. Tell me about that. And see how I did that in like a little bit of a fun and playful way. It's not about making people feel bad about things. It's about finding ways to creatively give each other the little nudge that we need to make sure that we're showing up and being accountable and holding each other accountable. Because as we say, the rising tide lifts all boats. And remember, it's about by putting this into your onboarding and your knowledge management and your procedures, you're baking accountability into the DNA of your organization. It becomes the way we do things around here. Now, how does this fit into the bigger picture? This is the model, if you like, that we use when we do major rollouts with organizations. So we like to point out where this fits into the bigger picture. So you'll see here in the triangle, we've got leadership. At the top there, we've got team and we've got operations. So we believe to have a great organization that's effective and efficient, we need to have leadership experience, so ongoing development and culture. We need to have team experience, so onboarding and initiation that crushes it. So that's where this lives. And we also believe that we need organizational intelligence. So SOPs and knowledge management that are pristine. And, you know, if someone does, we talk about the big red bus problem. If someone gets hit by a big red bus tomorrow, then we know that all of the systems and processes are documented. So we live and breathe this process here at Imagine8. And that the bottom of the triangle there, the team experience, is where this lives. So making sure that we have tribal knowledge transfer, so stuff isn't stuck in people's heads and it's actually in a system that we can reach it, role clarity, and also having that learning management system. And we bake all of that accountability into the bottom of the triangle there. Now, how can you do things a little bit differently? So I've given you some tools today that you can use, that you can take away and go and apply straight away. Like I said, honestly, if you do nothing else, showing everyone the A+ gold standard way to do their job, game changer. That said, we also wanted to offer you something today for showing up and getting things done. We call it the Accountability Audit Tool. Basically, what that means is you jump on a call with myself or one of my team, and we take you through a process to see how much accountability is actually built into your onboarding and your day-to-day rituals in your organization. Now, we do it as a call. Yes, I will ask you a lot of questions, but they do have a really important job. And then we'll generate a report for you that shows you the 5 different ways that you can improve going forward. So if you basically, what I'd recommend, and we always do with these calls, pick one a month. And if you focus on that one thing a month and nail that for 30 days, and then move on to the next one, you'll be in a completely different situation in 6 months from now. So that's the idea behind the accountability audit. And if that's something that you would like to get behind, I will send you through a link so that you can get on top of that. So your way forward, I know what you're thinking, Amanda, that's a lot of time that I need to spend working on these things. It's a lot of resources. I've got to tell all the other people in the team that this is what we're doing. Yes, you're 100% correct. It is a lot of time at the start. The thing is, if you take the time now out of your days, your weeks, your months, and your years to make these changes, and you do it slowly over time, the beauty of the situation is that as you roll those things out, things will start to improve. And like I said at the start, better profitability, you're more effective, less churn, people are performing at the highest level. They can do their best work because they have the tools to do their best work. And they want to do their best work because they have buy-in and they have an emotional connection to the work that we're doing. Now, here's the thing. You don't need better people. We just need better systems. And accountability built into your system is the difference between surviving and scaling. Team, your onboarding audit. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. If that's something that you would like to take advantage of, you can click the link and we'll spend 45 minutes together. I'll ask you all of those questions. I promise I won't hurt you. And we will generate a report that will give you the 5 top things that you can do over the next 6 months to move that needle forward to ensure that you're getting an amazing onboarding experience for your team and you're baking that accountability in from day one.